Palma. Oh,
man.
That's unfair, and Palma 7 points in the game.
To Del Fuentes.
Oh, wow.
Delgado makes the shot and knocks it down. Malonia is open. 3-point.
My goodness! Isang jumper by Robin Celis.
Natalgero has time.
Now it's Martin Rosso. Turnaround jumper. Oh my goodness!
We continue our coverage here in the province of Abra. Nandito po tayo sa Bangged. And we've been around and it's been a fun experience dito po sa Abra. And we're now at the Governor Andres Bernos Memorial Gym where John Ambuludto and Will Macaloni, two hefty lefties, will lock horns para sa matchup na ito. Dalawang bigatin, two former champions collide in the second game of our Saturday triple header. It's the inaugural champions, the Batangas City Tanduay Rum Masters, taking on Season 4 champs, the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. Naimbag na rabii sa inyo mga kaliga, Ken Pangilinan with Coach Mike Perez. Coach Mike, Nueva Ecija close to flawless so far this season, but a worthy adversary awaits in Batangas City.
Yeah, totoo ka dyan. This is the, I feel Nueva Ecija is the most efficient offensive team right now this season. And it's going to be a challenge on how Batangas is actually going to stop that flow enough for them to try and secure a win here in this match.
Of course, you're watching us live on Facebook and YouTube, and also we're live right now on Solar Sports. And of course, kasama natin ngayon, nalaing nga ni courtside reporter me, walang iba kundi si Miss Sydney Crespo. And Sid, we've been talking about this, how despite impressive itong Batangas City under Coach Cholo Villanueva throughout the years, but the one team na hindi pa nila natatalo this season is Nueva Ecija.
Hello Ken, Coach Mike, tama ka dyan Ken, no? And ang ganda nga ng weekend natin dito sa MPBL. We're very lucky to cover 3 amazing games, and the first time ko dito sa Abra, at tama ka, for Coach Cholo and Batangas, kailangan nilang talunin ang Nueva Ecija for the first time since 2022. Hindi pa nga sila nakaisa dito sa Nueva Ecija, and Coach Cholo has a very great insight as to why, no? Sabi niya, since Boss Bong Cuevas came to the management, they were able to bring in amazing talents both for coaches and players. So that's one thing na consistent dito sa Nueva Ecija, ang kanilang management. Now they are treating this as a playoff game because according to Coach Cholo, if they make it out to the national finals, maaaring Nueva Ecija ang naghihintay sa kanila. Ken, Coach Mike.
Maraming salamat, Sid. And just to correct myself, so 3 matchups ng Nueva Ecija and Batangas, lahat panalong Nueva Ecija under Coach Cholo Villanueva. Ngayon, pag-usapan natin, Coach Mike, itong Batangas City, nasubukan sila nung last game nila kalaban ang Pasig City. And this was a game where Coach Cholo warned about his boys, about the veteran smarts nitong Pasig City. And they got off to a hot start. 28-11 yung naging talaan, 17-point lead for Batangas City. But Pasig came roaring back in the second quarter. Pagdating ng second half, medyo nip-and-tuck affair, but Batangas City prevailing in the end.
Yeah, that strong first quarter really led by Levy with 11 points. They were up 15 at the end of the first frame. Asidre and Batak led Pasig in the second, pero bumalik pa rin yung production para dito sa Batangas. They shot the ball really well actually, 52%. Almost the same rather when it comes to offensive rebounds, pero yung total rebounds, there was a plus 14 advantage and very good shooting from the paint. They were a plus 18 right there and converting 62% of their shot within the paint, and that's tough if you're going to go up against Batangas, which is going to be very efficient shooting in the paint.
Nakakatuwang side story dito, Coach Mike. The two former Arellano Chiefs in Levy Hernandez and Rocky Asidre had a shootout in this game, but Levy Hernandez coming up on top, matching his season high in that game against Pasig City with 28 points.
Yeah, I agree. And ito si Levy Hernandez, alam naman natin kung anong maibibigay niya para sa atin. A lot of perimeter shooting, a lot of post-ups, and he really has just mastered productions from the paint. And that 28 point on a 10 of 14 field goal shooting really just shows you how much of a firepower Levy Hernandez could be for your team, especially down on the perimeter.
Now, the Batangas City Tanduay Rum Masters will face a familiar foe this time around. Kalaban nila ngayon ang Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards, who in their last game, you mentioned the firepower, umaapaw para dito sa kupunang ito, and nothing did Marikina Shoe Masters could do on this trip in Lucena City, and they got beat down here by 36 points.
We can talk about the plus 36 end game margin para dito sa Nueva Ecija, but I'd like to focus on Nueva Ecija limiting an average of 10 points per quarter para dito sa kanilang kalabang Marikina. 12, 9, and 11 through 3 quarters, and all the players got fielded in at least 10 minutes on the floor except for Clark Derrigue, who only had about 5 points of floor time. And Rob Celis and Will Macaloni led the charge, Will ending up with the Player of the Game awards.
And you've mentioned already one name dito para sa Nueva Ecija. We could talk about, Coach Mike, the different types of players that they have. We could even argue who the best player is para dito sa Nueva Ecija, but probably the most important player para sa kanila, Robbie Celis.
Oo, si Robbie Celis, alam naman natin kung anong naibibigay niya para dito sa Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. For the most part, you know, he tries to get his teammates involved, but when, you know, crunch time, you can always count on Rob Celis. And those 11 points, perfect from the line, 4 of 7 shooting, just shows you the variety of ways that a Rob Celis can help the Rice Vanguards.
All right, this should be a good one just before our main event. It's Batangas City kontra Nueva Ecija. Let's go to Richard Campos to introduce our starters.
Kada kayo amin, Abreños. Welcome to the Battle of the Champions. It's Nueva Ecija taking on Batangas City, live on Solar Sports. Manny Pacquiao's MPBL Season 7 at the Governor Andres B. Bernos Memorial Gym. Introducing first, the inaugural season champion, Batangas City Tanduay Rum Masters. Forward number 7, O'Neil Arim. Point guard number 8, Kai Oliva. Power forward number 43, Dexter Apinan. Playing center number 24, Mark Cruz. And at 2 guard number 22, the sniper de Mexico, Levy Hernandez. The head coach is Cholo Villanueva. Assistant coaches J.R. Aquino, Warren Capitan, John Arenas, and Dino Enrile. Assistant team manager Gilbert Alea. Team manager Jean Alabanza. LGU partner is Mayor Marby Marino. Team owner Lucio Tan III. Now for the Season 4 champions, Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards Mega Bet. At forward number 8, Robbie Celis. Playing center number 14, Will Macaloni. At guard number 19, JV Marcelino. Forward number 25, MJ Ayay. Starting at guard number 51, Big Bang Toto Byron Villarias. The head coach is Don Dulay. Assistant coaches Rob Wainwright, Matt Macalintal, Arnold Oliveros, Jonathan Oiloan, Rick Season, and James Bartolome. Assistant team manager Jen Digladice.
All right, the starting 5 brought to you by OneXBet, title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with OneXBet. For Batangas City, Kai Oliva, Levy Hernandez, Mark Cruz, Dexter Apinan, O'Neil Arim. Para naman sa Nueva Ecija, JV Marcelino, Byron Villarias, Will Macaloni, Robbie Celis, and Jesper Ayaay. And noticeably absent from that starting unit of Coach Don Dulay is JC Marcelino. So his twin brother will step up at that guard spot para dito sa Nueva Ecija. And we'll probably hear some news on the status of JC. But that's a big blow for Nueva Ecija if he can't play today. Especially with how determined Batangas City wants to end their losing spell kontra dito sa Nueva Ecija.
Yan, alam mo naman na itong si JC is you know, a leader for their team, let alone in minutes played as well as in points and steals, and he's one of the top 3. So JB's gonna have to step up to the plate in the absence of his twin brother.
Hernandez off the curl, can't hit it. Rebound, Robbie Celis.
And ito yung magiging challenge para sa Batangas. How do you stop and make this very efficient offensive system of Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards, make them very uncomfortable, then not making it easy for them to score.
Villarias immediately nailing a free to begin the match para dito sa Nueva Ecija.
When you notice some of the very first plays of the Rice Vanguards, it almost always starts with a three-point attempt by Byron Villarias. They want to set the tone on that side of the floor.
Although they do not really take a lot of frees, sobrang efficient nila, Coach Mike, that they're number 1 in terms of points scored and 2-point field goal percentage at 56.8%. As you see JV trying to go right at Kai Oliva.
At saka isa na sa reasons kung ba't hindi ganun kataas yung 3-point attempts nila. Kasi it almost, I feel, parang exclusive to Byron Villarias. And so, a load of those attempts have really come from him. And, you know, just making the most of guys who can actually score. Steal right here.
Kai Oliva getting another starting nod. Now goes straight to the cup and scores 2 points para dito sa Batangas City.
Yeah, good quick response on the second offensive set para dito sa Rice Vanguards by Batangas. And right now, you feel that pressure defensively from Batangas. And the shooters, you still got to allocate them. Because Byron is going to hold that three forever until you find someone to go out and check on him and challenge his shot.
That was simply beautiful from Byron Villarias. That time, Levi Hernandez called for that offensive foul. Jesper Ayai will be draped all over him throughout the match. Fast Break the Game brought to you by Extreme X Pop, personal karaoke speaker. Everyday karaoke.
Pero ramdam mo rin yung depensa ng Rice Vanguards that time. It was a run-out, I feel, advantage para dito kay Kai against Will Macaloni because of positional advantage on their side. But you see Rob Celis also behind trying to help out, not making it a numbers advantage game para dito sa Rice Vanguards, sa Batangas.
6-2 start for Nueva Ecija. They swing the ball around. Jesper Aya ay susubok din ng tres. Left it short. Mark Cruz the rebound. Kai Oliva, 4th consecutive start. O'Neal Larim gets blocked by Robbie Celis. Tatakbo dito ang Nueva Ecija. JV. Pass to Villarias. That time can't hit it.
How about a block by Rob Celis though? Good timing. No body contact, just straight up waiting for that shot to go up in there and reject it.
Batangas City remains one of the best defensive teams in the league so far. Top 10 in terms of giving up points. That will be put to the test tonight against this high-octane offense nitong Nueva Ecija.
Pakiramdam ko itong Nueva Ecija gusto rin patunayan sa ating mga taga-subaybay dito sa MPBL na matibay rin sila pagdating sa depensa. And so this is going to be, as much as we talk about the offensive prowess of Rice Vanguards, this could also be a showcase of their defensive schemes.
Robbie Celis not close on that shot. Jack Sapinan grabs and goes, gives it up. Levi Hernandez, ubukol ng tres, wala yan. Nakuha ni Jexter, but ran out of space. Bola babalik sa panig ng Rice Vanguards.
One and done situation para sa Batangas at that turn. And the Rice Vanguards securing the defensive rebound, so they get possession.
JV lost it. Tatakbo dito ang Batangas City. Hernandez, great cut inside. Jexter Apinan able to score. 6-4. Nueva Ecija, the lone remaining undefeated team here in the league. 12 wins. Unblemished.
Switch.
Cross court, Villarias lobs it up to Macaloni. Robbie Celis, quick catch and shoot. Pretty much automatic from that distance.
Oh, perimeter side. You know, matic na yan para kay Rob Celis. Pero you have to really admire the way that Batangas has been peeling off defenders and helping out teammates.
And they're really trying to make Nueva Ecija uncomfortable in setting up their offense.
Tsaka kung may pagkakataon tumakbo, sinusubukan rin tumakbo nitong ng Batangas eh.
Nasupalpal na naman.
Oh, wow, second block of the game for Rob Celis.
Hindi rin naman papatinag si Levi Hernandez, who immediately gets a free as a skirmish down low off the ball between Jexter Apinan and Will Macaloni.
Well, Rob Celis got a block earlier on Levi Hernandez. Levi took it back, took the shot and made it. Sa ilalim, doon na medyo nagkaroon ng bongguan itong si Jexter at si Will Macaloni. Parehong lefty na, madiin din maglaro eh. Very passionate about their craft. Ayun. Medyo nagkaroon ng konting kapitan sa ilalim and I guess Will didn't like it.
Yeah, but I thought it was really nothing. Those are just two guys.
Well, after all, pinag-usapan natin, playoff environment and atmosphere itong game na to. So, why not?
Dexter,
so as expected, just a double foul between these two guys. Jex Apinan and Will Macaloni. 5 minutes and 37 seconds left. Just a 1-point lead for Nueva Ecija. Nueva Ecija tops top 10 in the categories we've mentioned already. Points scored, assists, field goal percentage, number 1 po sila dyan. Number 2 in points in the paint and points off turnovers. Number 3 in 3-point percentage despite just shooting a little bit less compared to the opposition. But boy, they have made it work and it looks beautiful, at least in the first 12 games. That time though, Batangas forcing a turnover, counter steal though by Nueva Ecija. Robbie Celis, the cross, and the layup goes plus a foul.
Well, he got fouled on the moment that he gathered that ball, took that step to that drive. But more importantly, nagsimula ito sa depensa. Ayun yung stop, no? On that gather and that foul. And Rob Celis, if you give him token fouls, he's gonna make those shots.
Let's check in with Miss Sydney Crespo.
We've been talking about this Nueva Ecija Batangas history, but honestly, Coach Don Dulay didn't know about the losing streak. He was actually even surprised as he described Batangas to be one of the most experienced chemistry-wise, and he said they have one of the best coaching staff in the league. So yung mukha at tawa ni Coach Don, parang there's pressure to even mention this tonight. Now still without JC for the second game in a row, wala rin si Manaytay, Coach Don is anticipating an all-out high-intensity game kasi ang una niyang priority ngayong gabi is to survive with all of his players staying healthy. He cannot afford to lose another Rice Vanguard considering the tough stretch ahead. Ken, Coach Mike?
Maraming salamat, Sydney. As that free drops again for Byron Villarias, his third triple. And Nueva Ecija now up by 7, 14-7. But just going back to Sid's report, yung longer picture na tinitignan ni Coach Don because he's missing 2 key players right now in JC and Christian Manaytay. And at the same time, alam din niya yung challenge na arap niya currently right now in the Batangas City Tanduay Masters. Guy Oliva knocking down a 3 to cut this lead down to 4.
No, kasi definitely hindi naman push over itong Batangas. May mga adjustments rin na gagawin sila Coach Cholo as they go up against the Rice Vanguards in this game. But the important thing here that I took away from that report was the respect between those coaches.
Of course. 3-point shot brought to him Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances. This guy has really come out of his shell. The former Arellano chief, former San Beda Red Cub, Kai Oliva. Pero papaltan muna siya dito ni CJ Isit. Zeta Blaza also in. And Jong Valoria for the Rum Masters. They recover the basketball. 10 on their shot clock. Kickball violation called against the Rice Vanguards.
Magandang matchup rin yung sa guardia between Ryan Costello and CJ Isit. Both of those guards, play with a lot of pace. Very pesky too on both ends of the floor.
And we have to remember, for these two squads, pareho silang nawalan ng key piece. Batangas as Zeta Blaza with a mid-range jumper. Batangas recently just lost Chris Porter. He's now with Rain or Shine. While I think a few weeks back, si JC Cullar naman, now with Phoenix for Nueva Ecija. So you know, the guys like ito si Ryan Costello who's now tasked to be the backup point guard para dito sa Nueva Ecija, and sila John Ambuluto naman for Batangas City. They have an opportunity to really shine and help their team as both of them try to make a playoff push.
Yeah, I agree. At saka yung both these teams are actually founded on really good schemes, offensively and defensively, on a really good culture. So if people come and go, just like JC Colliar and Chris Porter, and lalo na if it's an opportunity for that stint in a PBA, be it here or abroad, I think they'll gladly give them up because they understand, it's okay. We still have all these systems and all these cultures in place. So we just get in a new guy, have him fit in, and then use him to our advantage.
Sobrang unique kasi nung binibigay nung dalawa eh. Because Chris Porter is a stretch big for Batangas City. Something that Mark Cruz and John Ambuluto is not. But this is something that Mark Cruz has really done well. Score inside, and now we have a tied ball game at 14 apiece.
Ang difference siguro with Chris Porter, he does have range, but for the most part, he's being used by Batangas on the low block. It's on the post. And so, yun yung mamimiss talaga nila. Kasi pagka mga malalaki na yung kalaban, nahirapan silang pumose sa ilalim. They bring in Chris Porter to have that presence inside. Because when you talk about, Levi Hernandez, Seda Blasa, pretty much perimeter guys that can score.
Tanduay Rum Masters in the midst of a 7-0 run. They have tied it up. Costello gets it back to Robbie Celis. They reset their offense. Villarias, well challenged. That one won't go from beyond the arc. CJ Isit will try to settle things down now for the guys in white. Mark Cruz draws closer. Doesn't get the friendly bounce. Rebound ends up with Ryan Costello.
Ganda ng palitan between both these teams. And I feel this quarter, in my opinion, belongs to Batangas because they were able to keep in pace in the first quarter, not allowing a huge separation between them. And, just keep that going for Batangas. Samantalang ito ng mga Rice Vanguards, patuloy lang sa kanilang execution because they know that flow is going to come eventually as the quarters go by.
Santa Plaza lost the basketball when he tried to drive inside the paint. John Ambuluto getting in, as well as Toshi Tansinko naman para sa Nueva Ecija. By the way, quick shoutout lang sa ating butihing kaibigan. Walang iba kundi si Madam Photographer, Miss Luisa C. Who's, I think she's watching right now. She really wanted to be with us here in Abra, pero kailangan niyang alagaan yung mga alaga niya sa bahay.
Oo, yung mga fur babies niya.
Yes. And, we've mentioned the players involved in this rivalry, Coach Mike. Pero si Luisa kasi yung focus niya, and rightfully so, is the matchup between the coaches, and Coach Cholo and Coach Don Dulay.
Yeah. And I think everyone else, including the other teams, are also focused not just on the players on the floor, but what both coaches have in stored and prepared in this very crucial match between these two. Good ball movement, good three.
Nueva Ecija has been scoreless for quite some time now. That defense of Batangas fighting, and now they get into transition. Jong Baloria gets fouled with 9 seconds remaining here in quarter number 1.
And Jong Baloria really attacking the cup aggressively at that point. He goes to the line.
LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL.
85% free throw shooter itong si Jong Baloria. And maraming pagkakataon na tumulong siya para dito sa kanilang team, lalo na on the scoring side.
Those are his averages, close to 10 points per contest. But prior to this season, Jong Baloria has never had a season where he averaged in single figures in scoring. So lahat double digits, consistent. The longevity of Jong Baloria, but Tansinko got fouled as he took that shot from beyond the arc. Plaza tried to close out on Tosi. At si Tosi ngayon, mabibigyan ng opportunity without Christian Manaytay. And he brings a different dimension naman para dito sa Nueva Ecija. Because he could stretch the floor, he could put it on the deck at that 4 spot.
And that's what they really need, shooters outside, other than si Byron Villarias. Because perimeter-wise, you've got that already secured with guys like Rob Celis, John Wilson. You have enough.
Di nakatingin. Tosi Tansinko has enough time. Batangas City able to dodge a bullet. But pretty much back and forth in quarter number 1 between these two titans. Byron Villarias though got things going early para dito sa Nueva Ecija.
Deadlocked a first quarter right here, but really all because of the defense that was played by Batangas early on. The hot 3-point shooting by Byron Villarias, but they quickly responded, lalo na dito sa mga defensive stops nitong Batangas, allowing only 29% shooting for Nueva Ecija against the 40% clip para dito sa Batangas. Tied game, 16-all.
Special deal from 1xBet. Scan a QR code and claim your special offer. Second quarter just about to get underway between the inaugural champions, the Batangas City Tanduay Rom Masters, and the titleist from 3 years ago, the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. Muli po, Ken Panglinan kasama si Coach Mike Perez, and at courtside, si Miss Sydney Crespo. And your thoughts on what transpired in quarter number 1, Coach Mike?
Well, I felt the duo of Byron Villarias and Rob Celis provided that 1-2 punch scoring-wise para di sa Nueva Ecija. But really, just the defense and the intensity of how they're covering every man, switching on every opportunity, refusing to get screened, transition defense. That pretty much has been the calling card of the Batangas Round Masters in that first quarter, let alone this initial offense para dito sa Rice Vanguards in the second quarter. They had to exert a lot of movement before they actually got up that shot.
Amboluto has been stepping up lately for Batangas City, able to score off that putback.
Yan naman ang halaga ni John Amboluto para dito sa Batangas. There were games in the playoffs from last year na napakalaki na naging role nito ni John Amboluto. And right now, that's expected of him, especially as he goes up against Will Macaloni and the rest of the bigs.
Tansinko can't bury that free. CJ Isit on the other side. Baloria sidesteps his way to a free, but off to the right. Fight for the ball. Amboluto comes away with it and scores.
Very familiar ito si John Amboluto with Jamer Hamid. If I recall correctly, sila yung naglaban in the playoffs, Jensen against Batangas.
Yes,
and
so correct.
Pretty much that antidote to Jamer Hamito. And so the same way si Jamer dito kay John Amboluto. Parang kaliwete na malakas ang katawan at mahilig makipag, physikalan sa loob.
This is the first lead of Batangas City in this ball game. John Amboluto, 4 early points off the bench.
At ang ganda rin na nakuha ni Coach Cholo kay Kai Oliva. He's got 5 points already in almost 6 minutes of action. Perfect from the field. And including 3 steals to go.
John Wilson attacks the paint. Tansinko gets it. Robles will try another free. Has missed all 3 of his attempts from beyond the arc. And if you're Batangas City, you live with that shot by Billy Ray Robles. Pero ito si John Amboluto with 6 straight points for the Rom Masters.
Amboluto, napakaganda ng binibigay na tulong ngayon para dito kay Coach Cholo. 6 points off the bench quickly in only less than 3 minutes of action so far para dito sa lefting si John.
Tancinco, great closeout by Don Ochea and forcing that miss. That was the reigning MPBL defensive player. His imprints all over that one. Don Ochea. Ambuluto. Laban kay Hamito. Sprints to the right. But that time couldn't finish. As he gives up a foul after Hamito got the rebound.
Yeah, good move by John Ambuluto. Waited for all the cuts to be done. Nung nakita niyang wala na, siya na yung nag-decide to go up against Jammer Hamito. And he's been, I guess, very comfortable against Jammer so far. And so Jammer's got to do a better job of trying to making it more challenging para dito kay John Ambuluto.
Ryan Costello, Tosi Tancinco, John Wilson, Jammer Hamito, and now Kenneth Mocon, the unit on the floor for Coach Don Dulay. Ryan Costello gets to the paint, kick out pass to John Wilson. Can't hit the free. And multiple guys jostling for that rebound. And it ends up with Batangas City.
So far, itong Battle of the Bigs being won by Batangas. They are +5 in rebounds. And points in the paint, they are +4. And Jammer's going to have his hands full against a very active John Ambuluto.
Nueva Ecija sues for time. They're down by 4. John Ambuluto against Pasig City. 15 points, 5 rebounds, and really efficient from the field. 71.4% from the free throw line. 10 of those 15 points came in the second half. And he has had a resurgence, Coach Mike, this season because he really struggled to begin the year para dito sa Batangas City. Ngayong laro nga, he already has 6 points, 2 rebounds, came late in the first quarter.
And ang kagandahan nito, hindi nila minadali si John Ambuluto to come back. Alam nila may mga games na, oh my God, how we wish we had you, John. But, you know, they had him take his time so that he recovers well. And they're right now reaping the benefits of having that patience for John Ambuluto recovery.
And this unit of Seda Blaza, John Ambuluto, Jong Baloria, CJ Isit, and Don Ochea have been working really well, streaming good music together as they have taken the lead. This free throw, hatid sa atin ng Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kumpletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas.
And if you have those 3 guys, you know, really working together, real good. I mean, it's tough to be going up against Batangas because alam mo, pagka ganyan ang nangyayari, mas dumadali ang buhay ni this guy, Seda Blaza. Dumadali yung buhay niya kasi hindi na siya nagpo-focus masyado sa rebounding because Don Ochea and John Ambuluto, they're gonna do their stuff. Ayun, skirmish underneath. Hindi nagbibitawan yung dalawa kanina pa, CJ Isit as well as oh wow, Ryan Costello.
I told you this is this is gonna be 2 teams with a lot of pride, former champions. At dalawang manlalaro na ayaw magpatinag, CJ Isit, Ryan Costello, both Pessi guards. But nothing really untoward there.
Oh yeah.
Nothing dirty. Just 2 guys competing.
Dito mo rin naman, in my opinion, ramdam yung hindi pagiging available ni JC. You know, the pace is going of the game with him on the floor is going to be so much faster para dito sa Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards.
Saka laking bagay din, nawala na si JC Couliard because he's a great 2-way guy for Nueva Ecija. Tapos wala ka pang JC ngayon. But Jam Ramito able to score, stopping that 8-0 run by Batangas City.
Pero ako pakiramdam ko yung pagpasok ni to see that push with that left hand by John Wilson against Jong Valoria.
This is the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
But I feel yung pagkawala ni JC Colliar, Ryan Costello stepped up big for them. Napakalaking bagay nun. Second, yung performance din ni JV Marcelino has done well for them. And so, babalikan nga doon sa sistema para dito sa Nueva Ecija Rice Bangers. So, regardless kung sino papasok at lalabas na player, they'll just, keep them in pace with what they're doing on both ends. Nice
Wilson,
pass.
extra pass. Jam Ramito, back-to-back baskets.
Doon naman, na-tempt na si John Ambolutong close out against that three, understanding that John Wilson can knock it down from there. So, he left itong si Jammer Hamito inside, and really just a no-brainer pass right there for Jammer Hamito.
Wala ring help defense, secondary help by Batangas City, enabling Jammer Hamito to cut this lead down to 2, 24-22.
Well, the record doesn't speak for that team. We already know that what kind of system they run, what kind of team they are. They've been together for quite a while now, more than 5 years. So, we know what they're capable of. So, we prepared really tight for this team.
Coach Don Dulay certainly knows the task at hand, and the guys they're facing na yun nga, Coach Cholo this is his 4th consecutive season now with Batangas City, and he also had a stint with Makati back in season 3. Lahat yun, Coach Mike, even nung nasa Makati siya, they went all the way to the North Division Finals in season 3. Then dito sa Batangas, 3 straight South Division Finals appearances. And tagal na nila magkakasama eh. They've experienced multiple heartbreaks, the highs and lows. And also, yung sistema has always been there, and all of these players have been locked in from the get-go.
Yeah, it's really just following the lead of Coach Cholo. Alam naman natin kung anong klaseng leader itong si Coach Cholo. Kaya it's not tough for him to get the players buy-in. And I feel, ang gusto ko kay Coach Cholo, alam mo, arguably, he might just have the best hand signals for all his plays. I mean, if you notice him, napakasimple, kaya kung ikaw yung player, alam mo na kagad eh, without him even saying a word. Sometimes he rubs his face, points to his chest. Look at that. He's just doing that horn signal, and that's twisting. You don't know what that means defensively or offensively for them.
Uy, that's a bad pass
steal
by MJ. Right to the hands of Robbie Celis as the Rice Vanguards retake the lead, 26-24.
And so now, if you base it on their movements, that hand signal really looked like horns twist. They had those two bigs on the elbow twisting, but really not a good pass by MJ because of that coverage by Rob.
Another dangerous pass. Seda Blazado able to recover the basketball and go straight to the cup for the basket.
Obviously, ang focus ng Nueva Ecija defense right now. Kasi nakita mo yung frustration ni Rob Celis nung hindi niya nakuha yung steal na yun. He was actually gunning for his 4th steal in this game. And so he almost had it. Remember, he had that steal on that horns twist. Tapos nagkaroon ulit ng isa pang pagkakataon. And so, understandably, defense is gonna be key para dito sa Rice Vanguards.
Fast break of the game brought to you by Extreme X Play. On the go speaker, take your music anywhere. Another deadlock. 26 apiece.
At saka ang ganda ng palitan ng dalawa eh, no?
4 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. MJ, slight opening, took that free. Nueva Ecija a chance in transition. They have the numbers. Ken Mocon momentarily escaping. Oh, great pocket pass inside. Automatic there if you're Will Macaloni.
Rob Celis, time and again, proves to everyone, you guys don't need me to score to help the team. That time around, assist ang kinontribute ni Rob Celis. Little fake inside before he gave it up to Will.
Sid, laban kay Robbie. Ablaza inside the arc. Entry pass. Ambuluto forcing his way inside for the deuce.
And I'm sure Coach Don Dulay right now trying to tell Coach, ask his coaching staff, how do we stop that big man right there in John Ambuluto? He's had his way inside.
Robbie Celis, eye-to-eye with Seta Plaza. Isolated on the right side. Great cut.
Wow.
Jesper Ayay, another basket in the paint for Nueva Ecija.
Yan yung offensive efficiency and the fluidity of the offense of the Rice Vanguards. You're on the short corner, you're on a post-up, or you're on a dribble penetrate, have that weak side 45 cut, which is exactly what Jasper Ayay did.
And see how they've been disruptive, playing those passing lanes, talking about Nueva Ecija. Play of the game, brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
And I'm sure si Coach Cholo is not happy about how John Ambuluto rotated. He knew that he was late. Never got to Will.
Cross-court pass, Ayay, masyadong matulis yung tira. May foul sa ilalim, laban sa Batangas City. Will Macaloni, after a slow start to the season, has picked it up lately for Nueva Ecija. 2 minutes and 13 seconds left. Another timeout requested by Coach Don Dulay. Lamang pa rin sila dito ng 2 puntos, 30-28. We'll return after the short break.
Welcome back to the MPBL. Batangas has already suffered losses to strong and gritty teams like Quezon, Rizal, Pangasinan, San Juan, and Ilagan. Definitely a tough pill to swallow. Coach Cholo admits this is the first time he has lost that many games to start a season. Just like in the last coverage, the topic of finding something new for Coach Cholo remains relevant for him. Mas nagmamature na ang players na. He believes they are smarter now. Maybe they just needed to adjust at the beginning, but he hopes to peak towards the end. Sa larong to, dapat daw maging disruptive sila. Hayaan nila mag-isip ang Nueva Ecija, try to make more outside shots, and eventually work on efficiency. Can Coach Mike?
Maraming salamat, Sid. And you gotta admire Coach Cholo, Coach Mike, because we've been mentioning this time and time again. Tagal na nilang magkakasama. Robbie Celis with a basket for Nueva Ecija, but going back to Batangas City, tagal na nilang magkakasama. Dami na napagdaan ng heartbreaks. But Coach Cholo keeps finding ways of reinventing itong kupunan na meron siya. They have stuck to this score for the last 3 years. And he recognizes na this time it's much more difficult. Sobrang flat nung naging start nila this season. But, well, at least in the last 3 games and including this one, nakikita natin how they've been staying locked in despite the turmoil they're in.
Again, goes back to how Coach Cholo has actually built this team, built the culture, and it's founded not just on schemes. It's founded on a lot of philosophies and a lot of discipline. And so kung ikaw ang player ngayon at tatawag si Coach Cholo, Ken, you want to play for me? I'm sure your straight up answer would be yes, because you understand that's Coach Cholo Villanueva and what he brings to the table. And itong core players that you mentioned earlier is really in here, staying with the team because they believe in Coach Cholo. You know, yung dami ng hirap na pinagdaanan nila. They've been thrown in the furnace, and coming out of there, still being together, playing with a lot of joy and a lot of togetherness. That's what makes itong Batangas Rum Masters very unique and very special for this team.
They've got to clean up their turnovers though. Already 9 miscues for Batangas City. A recipe for disaster if you're going up against this mighty Nueva Ecija squad. Robbie Celis lalapit. Hernandez the rebound for Batangas City.
Maybe time for 3 or 2 more possessions here before we end the quarter.
Pocket pass. This time, Mark Cruz. But can't convert. 37 seconds remaining here in the second period. Cross-court pass.
Good skip.
Ken Mocon. Wala yan. Nakuha ni Mark Cruz yung rebound. The birthday boy, Philip Panyamogan, nasa loob na. Para sa Batangas, 10 turnovers already for the Rum Masters. Robbie Celis making them pay. 3-point play opportunity for Robbie Celis.
Well, second in points of turnovers, that's what the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards have been. 18.7 points of turnovers almost per game. And that's just a couple of them that you see right there with Rob Celis. And you talked about Batangas having, what, 10 turnovers already? They're averaging roughly about 14 per game. And so this is also a testament to the kind of defense that Nueva Ecija has played in this first half. We've been talking about how good they've been offensively, but the defense has really stepped up, especially after that timeout earlier by Coach Don Dulay.
Now it's the turn of Coach Cholo to sue for time. They're down by 7, 35-28.
Nagpapasalamat kami sa government ng Abra na grabe yung suporta nila sa team nila and ganda yung accommodation namin. Yung food, masarap yung food dito. Lalo na kanina kumain kami yung longganisa ba yun? Ayun, masarap. Natikman namin yun, yung Mickey. Masarap din, masarap. Yun, sobrang overwhelming ng mga fans ng Abra. So, kaya no wonder ganyan yung maglaro yung taga-Abra.
And certainly for Will Macaloni, ang dami ng tao dito. Hindi pa tapos tong second game. I think he's relishing the chance to play in front of this really basketball crazy people dito sa Bangged Abra, Coach Mike.
Oh, they have so much passion for basketball in this province of Abra. Levy for 3.
Time winding down. Hernandez could not nail that 3 to beat the buzzer. And that's gonna do it for our first 20 minutes of game action. It's been a game of runs, especially in the second period, but Robbie Celis and the rest of the Rice Vanguards holding steady despite not having JC Marcelino and Christian Manaytay. Robbie Celis stepping up to the plate once again.
Yeah, and that 62% field goal shooting, really understanding where to try and make attempts and where else to contribute para dito sa Rice Vanguards. That's so much value that you get out of a Rob Celis.
At the half, the Rice Vanguards on top of the Rum Masters 35-28.
Manny Pacquiao is annihilating Oscar De La Hoya's. That is the most spectacular one-punch shot of Manny Pacquiao's incredible career. And he fights his way off and goes down again. Straight left lands for Manny. Does he have Colo in trouble? Manny Pacquiao is a storm. Another huge left hand by Pacquiao. Punch after punch after punch. And he finds the straight left hand. And there's the punching game. Look at the brilliant accuracy of Manny Pacquiao. Landing with both right and left hands. This is why we use the word sensation.
Welcome back to the MPBL. My name is Sydney Crespo at kayo po ay nanonood ng aming game number 2 between Nueva Ecija and Batangas City dito sa Bangged Abra para sa ating halftime interviews. Kasama ko si Batangas Assistant Coach Dino Ponce Enrile. Coach, thank you so much for your time. It's a big task to beat Nueva Ecija, no? Pero what did you like in the first half at ano pa kaya ang mga pwede nating ayusin mamaya?
What we like in the first half is in the first quarter we were very aggressive. As you all know, number 1 ng Nueva Ecija, no? So it's a big task, no, for us. So we just have to be consistent about it. But at the latter part of the second quarter, we tapered off to have the few turnovers left and right. So moving on, we have to play, move on, play on. Hopefully, we'll get a better job playing defense.
Well, I'm sure, Coach, marami kayong fans na nanonood ngayong gabi hoping for a better second half. Baka gusto mo silang batiin at sino pang mga papasalamatan?
Yeah, binabati namin mga Batangas Tanduay Ram Masters fans, mga taga Batangas. Especially kay Mayor Marvy Marino, siya na yung bagong elected. Tapos ang mga Tanduay officials namin headed by Lucio Tan III, our president, and of course our team manager, Jean Alabanza.
Alright, Coach Dino, thank you so much for your time. Mga kaligaw, huwag kayong alis. Magbabalik ang MPBL.
Manalang gets it back. 8 seconds to work with. They go to Giab against Capulong.
Nice fake.
Nice fake by Giab. Atake ni Josh Giab! What a move from Josh Giab! Look at the move from Josh Giab. The shot fake. And lets Capulong fly by with that hang time move.
And the thing is, may nakadig pa si si Mitch Maynes.
Olegario drives right at Jego Dario. Finds a way. Oh my! Hindi ko alam paano nagawa ng paraan ni J. Olegario yun. I could not even find him. Could not even see him. 3 players against J.R. Olegario.
Hindi mo na nga makita.
Kaya nga.
Plus 10 ang Pasay, 14-4. Cyrus Tabi quietly has been having a solid season.
What a pass.
And what a pass. Like you said, papunta kay AJ Coronel.
And that's with the left hand. Usually, players are good with their strong hand, no? Yung mga magagaling pumasa. And this one, though, using the left hand for that behind the back in tight space.
4-point lead para sa Abra. Taiwan. Ildefonso, oh what a move! Hey, Ildefonso able to elude the defense. At ito yung magandang galaw ni Dave Ildefonso.
And that's just muscle memory para dito kay Dave Ildefonso.
Risers with a glimmer of hope. Kani. Kani for 3! Oh! Hubert Kani, I tell you, never count the Risers out, especially here on their home floor.
That's right. He rose up with those hands, challenged by Philip Manalang, and still knocked it down.
Pasay looks like they're getting a win here after back-to-back losses. Oh, Adlawan could certainly dunk. He'll try for that, and he does! Slam jam for Dolan Adlawan.
Pasok na sa top 3 yun, yung dakdak na yun. Maybe the #1 play.
They trap Pido. He goes to Himpayan. Waray finds Pingris for the hammer.
Oh boy! Me, oh my! Mark Pingris!
What a slam galing kay Mark Pingris. He went up there
to Coach Stephen Mapera's playbook that he could have more playing time for Parañaque in the coming games.
Pido. Oh! The exclamation point to this one!
May pahabol pa!
Nawala tuloy headset ko. Nagulat ako.
That's the first time I've actually seen somebody in the panel lose their headset after a dunk.
Ibang klase naman kasi out of nowhere. And Warlo Batak.
Mina against Darang. 5 seconds to work with. Mina fires a 3. Good! Alan Mina! 10 points in the game. And a clutch basket for the Cowboys.
Boy, what you love about this, the guys on Ilagan, the Cowboys, clutch after clutch.
They have been fouled as well there.
Yup. Didn't get to land on where he's supposed to.
Yes.
Oh my.
Big time shot galing kay Allen for 2. 10 seconds on the shot clock for Bataan. Mitchell with the in and out dribble. Mitchell, what a finish! What a finish! And I thought I was watching Dr. J right there. The in and out dribble. Maynes gets deep and adjusts, contorts, and just lays it in with some English. What a spectacular move from Mitchell Maynes.
Dr. J-like, if you ask me.
Alright, at a half, it's 28 for the Batangas City Tanduay Rum Masters, 35 for the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. And Coach Mike, pretty much a defensive battle in the first 2 quarters. And we also saw a game of runs, but the huge story here, well, it's not in the graphic, but yung number of turnovers na pinamigay ng Batangas, especially in the latter stages of the second quarter, which enabled Nueva Ecija to pull ahead late.
Yeah, and I agree. And you see the improvement in terms of the field goal percentage, lalo na dito for Nueva Ecija. They were, what, 29% at the end of the first quarter. And you get to the half, they're shooting 36%. So much better. A lot of it has to do because the flow is already in there for them. And 22 points inside the paint for them out of the rebounds that they get has really told a lot para dito sa Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards.
And the guys who came off the bench are the guys also leading in scoring for Batangas City. John Ambuluto with 8, Seda Blaza with 6 points, Kai Oliva with 5 points para dito sa Batangas. Nueva Ecija, as usual, Robbie Celis 12 points, 9 points naman para kay Byron Villarias, buoyed by those 3 triples. And now Batangas City will open up the third quarter with the possession. Mark Cruz can't hit the jumper from 20 feet. Ayaay, may buelo. Gets bumped out of position. 2 shots will be given to Jesper Ayaay.
Actually, one could make an argument, as we talked about the halftime stats earlier, that while points in the paints have been advantage para dito sa Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards, those did not come from second chance points. Those really came from flow, offensive execution, and efficiency on their side of the floor.
22 seconds in the third quarter. Coach Cholo asks for a challenge. We'll be back for the result.
The challenge of Batangas City was unsuccessful. Foul on Mark Cruz.
Unsuccessful challenge by Coach Cholo Villanueva, shaking his head. Let's see this play one more time, Coach Mike.
And that drive right there. Well, parang ang kino-contest nila nila Coach Cholo, there wasn't enough to be called a foul. He felt that he really was just vertical on that drive by Jasper Ayay, but decided otherwise, and so it's going to be a foul.
Split at the line by Jasper Ayay. 8-point lead, the biggest so far for Nueva Ecija. Hernandez only had 3 points in the first half. Now he fires from the top of the key, left it short. Only 1 out of 8 from the field. Ito si Levy Hernandez. But foul on that rebounding battle by Will Macaloni.
Well, you could really tell that ito si Coach Cholo Villanueva is a disciple of the San Antonio Spurs under Coach Greg Popovich. That last play, I don't understand, was part of the playbook of Coach Popovich, where they had that horns and a lot of dry action, weak side and the ball side, eventually ending up with that back screen for a shooter going up top.
Baseline inbound for the guys in white. Oliva getting it to Jexter Apinan. Celis giving him some space. Oliva. Now it's Hernandez attacking straight to the cup, but again, now 1 of 9 from the field. Ito si Levy Hernandez.
In my opinion, why Rob Celis gave him that much space to Jong Valoria? Because those guys have not scored consistently in this game. We've been through quarters, but you haven't heard so much about Jong Valoria and Levy Hernandez.
Will Macaloni gives Nueva Ecija its first double-digit lead at 10.
Ang challenge dito sa Batangas is scoring na. I mean, they played a lot of defense in the first quarter, but somebody's got to make shots. Levy's only got 3. Jong Valoria has only got 2 points so far in this game. Jexter Apinan's got 2. And Seda Blasa, out of those core players of Coach Cholo, the only guy with good point production at 6.
Fast break the game brought to you by Extreme Cool Air Conditioners. Ang Extreme Magpalamig, free installation for split type air conditioners. And much to their surprise, Batangas City called for an offensive foul. Coach Cholo is livid on the sidelines right now. But they get a steal. Jex Apinan able to score off the glass. Lead cut down to 8.
Good response by Batangas right here. Again, going back to defense. Starting with defense, then getting your offense.
JV. Macaloni lets his defender fly by. The help by Apinan, but also a foul.
Well, Onil Arim got committed up in the air because of that good pass by JV to the waiting hands of Will Macaloni on that weak side post. Baseline side, left side of the floor, that's pretty much advantage for Will Macaloni.
Last game against Marikina, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 66.7% from the field, perfect from the line. Will Macaloni had a slow start, only averaged 5.3 points on 35% field goal shooting in his first 3 games, Coach Mike, but has picked it up in his last 6, averaging 12.7 points on 55.1% field goal shooting.
Yan, napakahalaga nung laro na yon para kay Will Macaloni, para makakuha siya ulit ng good rhythm para dito sa Rice Vanguards. He is so much better than those numbers that you mentioned, and he knows it, he understands it, and so for him to get that little rhythm, maganda yan para kay Will.
Same play, Robbie Celis getting his 3rd block of the ball game. 4.4 seconds remaining on the shot clock of the Rum Masters.
And Coach Don Dulay, contrary to how he was in that first quarter, where he was literally in the face of every Rice Vanguards, telling them to execute better and run better defense. Right now, medyo kalmado na because of how the Rice Vanguards have responded to that call by Coach Don. Good seal.
Oh man, that's just too deep. As Will McAloney making mincemeat of the defense of Mark Cruz.
I would say more out position si Mark Cruz by Will McAloney right there. It was a race to that spot. He got there first, but Will, really just turned it to his advantage, sealing him.
Mark Cruz, babawi with that floater. 40-32, Nueva Ecija, abante pa rin ng 8 puntos.
And Oliva is back on the floor. Oh, steal.
Rare miscue by Robbie Celis, but Levy Hernandez lost the basketball. Ayaay sends it to a cutting JV Marcelino who scores.
7th steal already for Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards, and they've turned them into much needed points of turnovers.
Apinine sidestep. Coming up empty on that trip. Celis the rebound, his 5th.
Nandiyan mo makikita yung depensa na nagge-generate ng offense para dito sa Rice Vanguards, yung points of turnovers.
Celis natapikan ni Jexter Apinan. 10 seconds left the shot clock ng Rice Vanguards.
And you see Will McAloney talking to JB, give me the ball because I feel I've got advantage underneath. He tried to post up pero hindi niya nakuha yan eh.
Assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. JV tries a 3.
Oh, wow.
No good. Celis, another rebound. Will McAloney, that time forcing it up. And finally, it ends up with Jex Apinan. Release pass to Kai Oliva. Pushing it down the floor for Batangas City. Oni Larim for free. Masyadong malakas. Tapikan ng bola. And great fight by Mark Cruz, keeping that ball. And Batangas City will have possession once more.
This is a good game to show yung resilience rin itong Batangas eh. Much as, nakikita natin napakagandang opensa at depensa nitong Rice Vanguards. Pero Batangas really just trying to stay close as much as possible and just waiting for their own run to try and get that lead. Good pass.
Great cut as well by Mark Cruz.
Mark Cruz, 4 points already in succession out of the couple of attempts. Just making himself available for Batangas.
Some slight pressure by Batangas, trying to delay itong offense ng Nueva Ecija.
Going on zone.
Robbie Celis, kick out pass to JV Marcelino. He attacks, contorts himself in midair, and lays it up and in.
And that happened because Kai got tempted to go for that steal upstairs. And so he lost his balance. JV got that recovery on a 2-foot jump stop from the top, and then just attacked downhill.
Valoria puts up a free, no good. Oliva. Now he's posting up on JV Marcelino.
Good recovery, ganda ng depensa.
Valoria, 4 seconds on the shot clock. Chong inside, wala pa din. At bola, mapupunta na sa panig ng Nueva Ecija.
Ano mo nagpapahirap pa ng depensa? Pagka yung alam mong nandun ka sa spot na komportable ka pero hindi mo tinitira because you're thinking of the defense.
Gixer, great move of the game. Born for greatness. The hang dive and the finish for JV.
Ganda nung pagkaka-time nung right-hand finish na yun para kay JV. And the reason that I said about, it being a mind game now, even if you're at a spot na alam mo nakakagawa ka ng puntos, it's because you see guys not taking shots already for Batangas. And I'm sure Coach Chol is going to remind his team about it. You practice this a lot of times. Go take your shot, just like how Robbie has done here.
And they've been hesitating. As a result, they have committed a lot of turnovers in this game.
Yeah. Yung dami ng turnovers na yun, Ken, doon sila nag-hesitate eh.
And I have to give credit also to Nueva Ecija because they've been locked in, playing the passing lanes. They have really wreaked havoc. As Batangas City pretty much uncomfortable. 6 seconds on their shot clock. Ablaza, again the defense of Nueva Ecija just on point.
Those were 3 attempts by 3 guys in their sweet spot. All of them missed it. So, hindi makakuha ng magandang rhythm dahil dito sa depensa pinapakita ng Rice Vanguards ngayon.
Saka more than anything else, Coach Mike, yung positional defense na meron yung Nueva Ecija eh.
Right. Good kick. This one's
Ito libre.
a free one. You see? Couldn't get anything. But under different circumstances, I'm sure those shots would fall for Jong Valoria.
Pretty much nothing from their two main gunners, Jong Valoria and Levi Hernandez.
He's a close to 30% three-point shooter than si Jong Valoria. Oh,
Villarias when Jong Valoria's defense draped all over him. Didn't matter. 3-point shot knocked down by Toto and he now has 12 points.
Conversely, yun naman is kumpiyansa na tumira ng tres. I mean, he was fully defended as he rose up. Pero andun yung rhythm na eh para kay Byron Villarias. He was, what, 3 of 6 kanina in the first half. That's his 4th three-pointer already in this game.
Batangas City needs to be careful here. Not let Nueva Ecija pull away.
This is going to be a crucial stop para sa Batangas.
Macaloni, babangga.
Offensive.
Pero nahuli din, na humawi.
I think yung extend ng arm dun yung ipinito eh.
3-point shot brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances.
Jong Valoria, to his mind, it was going to be a drive by JV on that gap. And so he let go of that shooter in the corner to try and stop and stunt against that drive by JV. But you have to pick which one do you want to give up. And they gave up on Byron and he just made that shot. Late rin yung pagkaka-recover nito ni Jong.
CJ Isit. Ngayon, nakaisit Ablaza yung bola. Atake sa kanan. And challenging the defense of Tosi Tancinco.
You see how Batangas is setting up that entire right side of the floor for Sed Ablaza to operate. Lalo na on that low slot or yung elbow side. Because, you know, Sed being right-handed, he comfortably puts a couple of dribbles to try and attack. If that defense sags off of him, he's definitely going to take that shot. Pero bumantay eh, kaya sinubukan niyang drumay. Makeable shot, yes, pero hindi pumasok.
Special deal from 1xBet. Scan a QR code and claim your special offer. Sablay yung unang free throw ni Sed Ablaza. First miss at the line for Batangas City. Oh, now 2 straight misses. Things not really going well for the Realm Masters at the moment. Under 2 minutes to go, Nueva Ecija with a 13-point lead. Mocon at the controls. Popping out is Tosi Tancinco. Gives it up to Billy Ray Robles. Hamito takes that free. Clanks off the rim. Jong Valoria calls in the rebound. But again, the disruptive defense of Nueva Ecija. Catching Batangas City off guard. And it leads to 2 more points by John Wilson.
14 turnovers, to which they got 16 points out of it, these Rice Bangers. And so you got to be careful with how you throw that ball. John Wilson deflects it, gets the ball, recovers, tries to drive, finishes with that elbow jumper.
Nueva Ecija threatening to pull away. And this is their biggest lead right now at 15 points, 49-34.
Welcome back to the MPBL. Sinelebrate ni Ilonggo Superman Billy Ray Robles ang kanyang 33rd birthday on the road kahapon. I asked him anong birthday wish mo this year. Yung totoo, sabi niya, wish ko sana mas maging mabuti at responsabling asawa pa ako. Ang sweet, di ba? Pero kasi sabi niya, nagsisimula daw yan sa asawa, then magiging mabuting tatay in the future. Magre-reflect din daw yan sa loob ng court, lalo na't dating basketball player ang kanyang asawa na si Micah. Isa sa bonding nila yung maglaro together. Magaling na shooter daw si Micah, kaya ipapasa na lang niya. Wish ni Coach Don sa kanyang first call when he took over Nueva Ecija is to get the respect he deserves because he's one of the most hardworking players and his attitude is even better. Inaamin ni Billy, malaki ang in-adjust niya this year. Before, buwis buhay siya. This time, whether it's to lead the second group or be a defensive player, walang problema. 10 years na siyang nagtitiwala kay Coach Don. Ken, Coach Mike?
At ako ay naniniwala ng lubos-lubos sa report mo, Sydney. Dahil napanood ko yung laro na yan na magkakampi si Billy at saka si Micah. Yung mag-asawa, nagulat ako, sabi ko, sino yung tumira na yan, elbow? Parang hindi lalaki. Wife pala niya. I mean, to have that kind of partnership, you know, in your married life, to be playing basketball alongside each other, something that a lot of basketball players would wish to have. Pero again, kanya-kanya naman kasi interest yung ating mga nagiging partner sa buhay. Kaya ako ngayon, pag-uwi ko, susunduin ko yung wife ko, uwi kami sa bahay, at kami magkukwentuhan tungkol sa basketball.
Mahababang biyayan, Coach Mike. Mga 7 oras, ultimano.
Oo.
But you know, as they always say, family comes first. Always. LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL.
Pero si Sid yata ang wish magkaroon rin ng kakwentuhan pagbalik sa Manila. Kasama ka naman, di ba? Kasama kayo. Magkakwentuhan kayo. Si Jeff? Si Jeff ba? Okay.
Pareho kaming introvert niya ni Sid eh. So, pag sa biyahe...
Ako yung naniniwala sa report ni Sydney pero hindi ako naniniwala introvert ka.
Coach, introvert ako. Maniwala ka sa akin.
Sige. Sige, try ko yung discovery. Alamin ko kay Nudge yan.
49.3 seconds left. Batangas City only able to come up with 1 free throw. Scoring this quarter. Nueva Ecija 14-7. But to your point, this has been a low-scoring period for both of these teams. More so on the side of Batangas City. But they were able to get a stop here.
Kasi alam mo na they're getting their shots. Ito nga Batangas, but they're just not making them. It's important to get attempts. But to not make them, that's another thing that they gotta work on.
CJ Isit, release pass to Seda Blaza. Ito yung mga kailangan dalasan nila gawin, no? Those kind of plays were really working back in the second quarter when they were able to set up John Ambuluto. Meron siyang buwelo towards the basket.
Their best percentage this game, speaking of Batangas, came when John Ambuluto was scoring inside. And when John got that rest, yung other guys na normally tinitingnan mo, Ablasa, Valoria, and Levy Hernandez, they've been struggling. And so that number has once again gone down from 37, 36 at the half. Right now they're shooting at 29%.
Split at the line again for the Rum Masters. Bakers doesn't lead for Nueva Ecija, 49-36. About a 2-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Ooh, a foul on the Rum Masters. Not yet over the limit though. That's their last foul to give.
And si Coach Cholo, if you will look at this entire third quarter, there are 3 calls that he is not happy about. Including this one right here.
Simula pa lang eh. Actually, nag-challenge siya agad. 22 seconds into the third. John Wilson up top. Wilson over John Ambuluto. Too strong. Time winding down. Robles. That shot will not count. It was still in his hand when time expired. But nonetheless, what an impressive third quarter para dito sa Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards as they hold Batangas to only 8 points. Highlights of the game brought to you by Sip Plus, the official hydration partner of the MPBL. Elevate your hydration.
Well, much as we talk about yung mas maraming in-score itong Rice Vanguards, you have to understand, it's still the lowest scoring quarter for them so far, itong Rice Vanguards at 14. Yung 7 points na yan ng Batangas really just tells you they're not making shots. They're getting their attempts. And so had they done better on the field, it would have been a different story altogether at the end of the third.
Sa pagpasok natin ng fourth quarter, Nueva Ecija lamang ng 13 kontra Batangas City, 49-36. Check out our Gixxer fan of the game, Born for Greatness. Happy to have you here on a Saturday evening, the last day of the month of May. What a way to end the month by being here in Bangged Abra, enjoying the games. Later on, we'll see the Abra Weavers defend their home court against the reigning South Division champions, the Quezon Huskers. But right now, two former champions collide. Nueva Ecija and Batangas City, but the Rice Vanguards having their way. You see the quarter scoring, pretty much a defensive battle between these two squads, Coach Mike.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, itong fourth quarter na to, patuloy pa rin ang diin ng depensa para dito sa Rice Vanguards. But now that you scored your lowest scoring quarter in the third with only 14 points, they are gonna tell themselves, we gotta score some more and go back to our strength, which is offensive.
But Batangas City now with 15 turnovers.
Oh man, didn't get to that cut.
Robles. Nilabas yung bola. John Wilson. What a big free. It's now up to 18, 54-36.
Himayin natin yung opensa na yun. Binigay mo yung bola kay Billy Robles sa post-up. That guy can score. That cut by Jammer can also score. You've got that three by, who was that again?
John Wilson.
John Wilson. And all of those guys are in spots on the floor where they can score, and they make it. Dito, sa kabila, ganun pa rin. John Ambulunto was so good inside the paint, but right now, all that defense is concentrated on him, so it's tough for him to even score right inside the paint.
Nueva Ecija is not even shooting well from beyond the arc. They're only 4 out of 23, but the turnovers have really killed Batangas. 15 turnovers leading to 19 turnover points for the Rice Vanguards.
And so those two stats really have been the disadvantage para dito sa Batangas. Those turnovers and the points that they've given up to Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards, and them not shooting very well from the field.
A challenge by Coach Don Dulay on that last foul call. 8 minutes and 29 seconds remaining. Ken Mocon was the one who was called for that foul the last time out. Nueva Ecija, abante ng 18 puntos, 54-36. And Batangas needs to search some answers. John Balorio about to get to the line, but we'll pause for a break. We'll be back for the result of this challenge.
Ecija is unsuccessful. Foul on Ken
Unsuccessful
Mocon
challenge by Coach Don. We'll look at it once more after Chong Baloria made his move. So Ken Mocon with his third foul. And maging Nueva Ecija, hindi rin agree.
Actually, parang mga fans pa nga ng ng Abra eh. Yung mga nanonood ng mga taga-Abra eh. And so, nakita natin yung first game. It was Imos versus Marikina. Yung mga Abra fans, nagre-react doon sa intensity ng game. Ito ngayon, nag-react rin sila nung pinakita yung review.
Yeah.
Just shows you how much this town loves basketball.
Hotbed ito ng mga ligang labas din itong Abra.
That's right.
Talagang dinadayo nila to. They will go 6-7 hours. And the games here are really competitive. As in, talagang patayan kung patayan.
Laban kung laban. Ika nga pagdating sa basketball dito. I mean, naintindihan nila na ang bansa ay very passionate sa larong yan. At ganun rin sila dito.
Oh! Jamramito stealing the ball away from Jong Baloria and able to score 56-38. 2 minutes gone by here in the fourth quarter. Batangas City.
16 turnovers, 21 points out of it. And itong Rice Vanguards is actually number 2 in that department. Another turnover here.
Oh, Hamito. Strong drive to the hoop. Lead up to 20 points.
And much as you want Batangas to be coming back, the energy, I feel, na-exhaust ng napakarami doon sa defensive side. No? Yung hindi ka makapasok sa mga alam mong makeable na mga shots, doon nakaka-frustrate din.
Another steal. JV, the pass. Mocon, foul given up by John Ambuluto. How about Nueva Ecija? Play of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Ken Mocon at the line. Coach Cholo Villanueva still calmly trying to steady this ship here for the Realm Masters.
And he's pulled out Jong Baloria and Seda Blasa, two of his three primary scorers, the other one being Levy Hernandez. So none of those three guys are on the floor. It's only Levy that's on there.
Levy Hernandez and Jong Baloria, a combined 1 out of 18 shooting from the field. Levy Hernandez 1 out of 12. Si Jong Baloria is 0 of 6.
5 points. Jong has 5 points. Pero galing sa free throws.
Yeah.
Lahat ng mga yon. And so, you feel for Batangas to have this kind of offensive game for your pillars in the scoring side. And so the other guys got to step up. John Ambuluto came in and brought that energy off the bench. Pero after that, there's been little that they've gotten out of the primary scorers.
He's their leading scorer right now with 9 points, but not one guy in double figures in scoring for Batangas City. Levy Hernandez continues to shoot and finally buries a free over Billy Ray Robles.
Who knows? This might start something here for Levy, and if he does, it would be reason to put in Jong and Sed again.
It's a lot of time though. JV
good block.
Flies but gets denied up top. Dexter Apinan bumagsak. Natulak doon ni JV Marcelino. Six and 29 left. Still a lot of time if you're Batangas City, if they want to catch up.
Yeah. Lucky for Dexter, no? He had nowhere to go that side. He was almost all alone that side of the floor.
But the pail has been dry so far for the Realm Masters. Billy Ray Robles a bit over-aggressive on defense. That's the 14th foul of Nueva Ecija. Something that Batangas City could take advantage of.
Agree. You gotta keep attacking now if you're Batangas, because after all, you've only missed 4 free throws so far, and you're shooting 66%. That might be something they look at.
Hernandez natapik ni John Wilson. Dexter Apinan spins. Inside they go. Ambuluto having trouble.
Look at John.
Ambuluto fighting for it. And he gets fouled.
And so far as John Ambuluto's concerned, this game's not over. He's just gonna keep on competing. Yan ang halaga ng isang John Ambuluto para dito sa Batangas.
This free throw din sa atin na Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. First guy in double figures for the Realm Masters. John Ambuluto with 10 points.
You gotta bring that energy if you're John. All right.
Super Two at the line.
Yeah, so that's 5 points already they've gotten out of this quarter. 3 from Levy and a couple of free throws from John Ambuluto. Will it be enough to build something of a run para dito sa Batangas?
Coach Don Dulay sues for time. They're up by 16. Fan of the game brought to you by LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. At medyo seryosong look tayo ngayon ha. Pero dami na tayong tao sa loob ng ating gymnasium.
Ayun no. Yung mga jersey ng Abra na sinasabi ko ang ganda ng ano no. And they're selling them here.
Yeah.
I've seen some places and shops na meron eh. I'm not sure if they're selling here sa loob ng gym.
And that will be later on, Abra versus Quezon. Great job by Batangas City.
Yeah, and you understand why Coach Chol is clapping his hands, because they got a good stop. Now they got a chance to make this a 7-point run here in this quarter.
CJ Isit at the controls against JV Marcelino. CJ trying to split the defense. Not a good idea. They turn the ball over. Byron Villarias got pushed from behind by Jexter Apinan. Those two are former teammates.
Yeah, kita mo si Jexter lumapit kaagad kay Villarias. No ill intentions right there. Just trying to catch up and avoid straight line layup for Villarias.
Nagsama sa JRU yung dalawang yan. Si Big Bang Toto at si Jexter Apinan.
Tama ba ang observation ko na si Byron Villarias parang nag-lose ng weight?
Could be.
Yeah. Diba? Yeah. Looks like he lost weight.
Yeah. Split at the line though, 60-43 ang ating score.
And you always hear talk about the conditioning coach of Nueva Ecija as being one of the top guys to do that. Kaya ang ganda rin ang condition ng mga Rice Vanguards.
Oh, another turnover. That's already 20 miscues by Batangas City. Villarias for 3. Off the mark. Macaloni snares the offensive board. They will reset their offense. Nueva Ecija comfortably ahead as we approach the halfway point of the fourth quarter. Robbie Celis, 2 under shot clock, drives right, lost the basketball. Opportunity to run for Batangas City. John Ochea, great pass down low. 2 points for Jexter Apinan.
That time around, itong Batangas able to stop in my opinion, one of the most dangerous offensive setups for the Rice Vanguards. That middle ball screen involving Rob Celis at the high screen and Will Macaloni in the short corner, weak side. It's tough to stop that, especially if you have Byron Villarias and holding those those threes.
This is a game brought to you by 1xBet, title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Maganda rin talaga nabibigay ng patience. That time around, they executed with a lot of patience. Ooh!
Much like that one, Coach Mike.
Much like that one too, agree.
You see the difference in terms of how they get the points.
Yeah.
For Nueva Ecija, they've been executing much better. And as a result, yung mga puntos na nakuha nila are within the flow of their system. And Batangas is trying to do just that, but yung depensa din naman kasi ng Nueva Ecija, grabe, as Remy Hernandez had to earn those 2 points.
Exactly. That's the operative word right there. It's to earn it. Hindi naging madali eh. And they're not given anything easy by the Rice Vanguards. Even on situations na nalilate yung depensa ng Rice Vanguards and they're free, hindi pa rin pumapasok. Right now, if you look at the numbers, you see another good play right there. This time missed by the Rice Vanguards. Look at the numbers shooting-wise para dito sa Batangas Masters. Guys who have attempted more than 5 attempts, none of them actually at least made half of their shots.
Kapansin-pansin din sa Nueva Ecija, they're running their actions and then just a split second, there's someone that's gonna be open and they hit it. This is a good play. Hernandez though can't convert. Apinan, ball strip, bodies on the floor. Macaloni, Apinan, and Ochea wrestling for the basketball. Batangas City getting a reprieve. Possession arrow pointing to them after that jump ball.
Yeah. And that time, Batangas going on the post skip or you get it to the high post on the elbow side or the weak side of the floor and just go to the shortest pass in the game, which is that handoff. And still, Levy Hernandez, one of your best shooters in the game, freed on that elbow side, still was not able to make it. And again,
John Wilson forcing a tie-up, and this time, possession arrow pointing to their side. Time running out on Batangas. 3 minutes and 4 seconds remaining. They're still down by 15 points. How about those steals, Coach Mike? Those are too many for Nueva Ecija if you're Batangas City.
Oo, 15 yun na steals in one game. Itong Nueva Ecija, on the average, they're fourth when it comes to that department, and they roughly get about 9 steals per game. And so that's almost +6 in that department for this game, but it is Rice Vanguards.
Sa ibig sabihin, kung ganun karami yung number of steals mo, Coach Mike, puro live turnovers yung pinamimigay nitong Batangas City.
Yeah, I agree.
And it has really triggered the fast break attack of Nueva Ecija.
And oh, what a beautiful pass. Good defense, though. And Will got hit on the head.
Nonachea can't finish. Ablaza recovers. Foul given up by the Rice Vanguards. They are over the limit. Fourth foul on John Wilson. 2:33 left here in the fourth. Ablaza missed his last 2 free throws. Said good on the first one, 62-48. Still a glimmer of hope if you're the Rum Masters. Special deal from OneXBet. Scan a QR code and claim your special offer.
That's one department that they've actually been good at, free throw making.
Yeah.
They're right now at, what, 12 out of 16.
80%.
Close to 80.
Zed Ablaza whistled for that foul. That's the last foul to give by Batangas.
And the Rice Vanguards still maintain this strong 5 on the floor. Couple of shooters. The point guard in JV. A good wing and a strong big man in Will.
Sa poste, Macaloni laban kay John Ambuluto. Will up and under, taking Ambuluto to school.
A battle of the strong lefties, which in this case, Will Macaloni won convincingly.
Will Macaloni, 8 points, 7 rebounds. Hernandez steps back for a free, left it short. Celis is ahead, and he will lay it up and in. And Nueva Ecija on pace and on their way to grab win number 13.
Wow.
How about this impressive performance by the Rice Vanguards, Coach Mike?
Yep. And 22 fast break points already para dito sa Nueva Ecija. And they got 25 points of the turnovers that they forced. This one, really pretty much all Will Macaloni. And John Ambuluto did this thing.
The game brought to you by OneXBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with OneXBet.
Yeah, and John did his thing, but there's something about that right side of the floor on the low block for left-handed post players to operate on. Here's another one right here.
Macaloni this time fades away, left it short. But they get the ball back. And for Batangas City, the next game that they will have will be on June 6. That will be in Nueva Ecija against the #1 team in the South, the Zamboanga Sikat. And that's going to be a tall order for them as well as they try to push up in the team standings. Right now, they are at 7-5. And ang mahirap kasi ngayon for them, Coach Mike, ang dami lang kadikit. Basilan is coming on strong. They had a poor start as well, but they are at 5-7. Vinyan, Rizal, makakadikit nila, Jensen.
Well, the teams that Batangas won against in their last 3 games after that loss to Ilagan were Pasig, Sarangani, and Parañaque. And those, for the most part, have been either lower tiered or middle tier team. As you see, the Quezon Huskers right there going up on a very good match later on with the home team of Abra. And so this is another loss for Batangas against a top tier team. They had their work cut out of them in that loss against Ilagan. And I'm sure, you know, they'll turn to turnovers.
We have a timeout. We'll pause for a break. Up next, the showdown of 2 mighty teams, each in the North and South Division. The Quezon Huskers, the reigning South Division champions, will go up against the retooled and revamped Abra Weavers, making their first home defense of the season. Head of Operations, Emer Oreta. Head of Security, Rudy Distrito. And the Ilocanos of Abra in attendance. This place filling up nicely for our main game tonight. And should be really a fun one, Coach Mike.
Oo naman. Ito lang ang masasabi ko. Puno na itong gym. Ang lamig pa rin.
Oo.
Lamig dito.
And Batangas, unfortunately, will fall down to 7-6. Nueva Ecija with that immaculate 13-0 record. But up next on their schedule is the defending champions, 2-time defending champions in the Pampanga Giant Lanterns.
Yeah. And I do understand that's going to be in Brenzi, right?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That's going to
My
be
mistake.
In
It's going to be in Brenzi Yao. So yung Batangas, kalabay sa Zamboanga, I think in the second game, prior to that one, sa Brenzi Giao Convention Center. And then, the main game, it's gonna be Nueva Ecija and Pampanga.
Oh, that's right. That's gonna be a very interesting one. And tonight, the Rice Vanguards did not have JC Marcelino. They did not have Christian Manaytay. And still you see the same results.
Yeah.
I mean, that just shows you the next man mentality and really just a steady flow of executions on both ends of the floor doesn't change regardless who's on the floor.
And dito mo rin makikita, Coach Mike, na it's more than one person for Nueva Ecija.
Agree.
You have to really have that collective effort if you want to beat a team as strong as this one, itong Rice Vanguards.
Yeah. And I feel you could say the same thing for the Batangas Scrum Masters. You know, everybody contributes in every game that they flow. It's just that shots were not falling and they were turning the ball over. And you like the clear respect of both Coach Don Dulay and Coach Cholo Villanueva has for each other and the teams that they have.
Nueva Ecija cruise to another victory. Still undefeated. Still at the top of the heap in both divisions. And now we check out our best player of the game, brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Robbie Celis had a tremendous performance. Almost a triple-double, Coach Mike. But this guy really set the tone para dito sa Nueva Ecija.
Oh, napakalaki ng tatlong three-pointers niya to start the game, and it really, you know, made wonder the defensive scheme para sa Batangas. It really spread the floor and allowed them to be able to stay in there and hang on in that first quarter run.
And Byron Villarias, you know, those threes have been vital to the success of Nueva Ecija. Our final score, 71 for Nueva Ecija, 54 for Batangas City. And Nueva Ecija remains at the top of the food chain. Now let's go courtside to Miss Sydney Crespo.
Thank you so much, Ken. Coach Mike, Byron, congratulations. Kanina pa pinag-uusapan na magandang testo para sa inyo dahil malaki nga ang motivation ng Batangas, no? But nonetheless, the streak continues. Hindi pa rin kayo natatalo ng Batangas.
Unang-una, thank you kay God sa binigay niyang panalo. Siguro maganda lang yung depensa namin. Yung sistema ni Coach Don, sinunod lang namin at talaga pinagandaan namin sila.
Well, Byron, we are very happy to have you back here for Best Player. Tapos na ang Batangas. Next up, two-time national champions, Pampanga. Ano nga abangan mo dyan?
Siguro today magre-rest muna kami and then siguro next day maghahandaan din nila namin kasi defending champion ngayon.
Byron, sino gusto mong batiin?
Unang-una yung si Boss Bong Cuevas, Ma'am Ryan Cuevas, Ma'am Vian Cuevas, Boss Ivan Cuevas, Bong Cuevas family, binabati ko. Sa family ko, mama, papa at kapatid ko, sa wife ko si Beverly, sa family niya sa Capiz, at sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa Nueva Ecija, wag sana kayong magsawa sa amin. And thank you din sa coaches and sa teammate ko na laging nagtitiwala sa akin. At saka lahat ng hindi ko nabati, binabati ko kayo lahat.
Thank you so much and congratulations once again. Byron Villarias is our best player of the game, brought to us by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Sid. Congratulations to Nueva Ecija. But oh boy, this place is pumped up as the monumental showdown in just a bit between Quezon and Abra. And the Weavers making their first defense at home. And that's gonna do it for this game between Nueva Ecija and Batangas. Stay tuned! Magbabalik ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino.
PBL dito sa bahay